to the new episodes of Random Page Challenge. This is Miss Sheila from Aqua Learners. We are about to see what universe want us to learn. Let's flip a random page from the book Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. Now I'm going to choose a random page from this book in front of you. So let's get started. Oh, we landed it here. Page number 190 and 191 from the chapter Ego. I have read this book about 1 year ago, and this is my favorite book. Author of this book, Jay Shetty, had lived a life of monk once in his life for many years, and then he returned to the original life, and he shared many of the things like how can we actually live like a monk his days. So let's get started. I'm going to read it aloud for you. Learned to the test here in a louder, more complicated world. The ashram was like school, this is the exam. I have to earn money and I won't have the same quantity of time to devote to my practice. But the quality is up to me. I can't study scripture for 2 hours, but I can read a verse every day and put it into practice. I can't clean temples to clean my heart, but I can find humility in cleaning my home. If I see my life is meaningless, it will be. If I find a ways to live my dharma, I will be fulfilled. I began to dressed every day as if I have a job. I spend most of my time at the library reading broadly about personal development, business, and technology. Humbled, I return to begin a student of life. It is a powerful way to return, re-enter the world. These paragraphs, the author is sharing his life after he returned from the ashram, for living there for many years. Was at ashram, he was living like a monk, and actually he was a monk. And then when he decided to return back to his original life, there is no job waiting for him. And you can imagine how difficult it was. And he didn't know how to start it. However, learning things again makes everything possible for him. Being a victim is the ego turned inside out. You believe that the worst things in the world happen to you. You get dealt the worst cards. When you fail, instead of giving in to a sense of victimhood, think of the moment as a humility anchor keeping you grounded. Then ask yourself, what's going to restore my confidence? It won't grow from an external factor that's beyond your control. I couldn't control whether someone gave me a job, but I focused on finding a way to be myself and do what I loved. I knew I could build confidence around that. Actually, many of us have habit of victimizing oneself once we get into the trouble of anything. However, finding a way, no matter what the situation is the real way of facing the trouble, real way of living a life. Build confidence, not ego. Here's the irony. If you have ever pretended you know something, you probably discovered that it often takes the same amount of energy to find confidence and feed vanity as it takes to work, practice, and achieve true confidence. Humility allows you to show your strengths and weakness clearly so you can work, learn, and grow. Confidence and high self esteem help you accept yourself as you are, humble, imperfect, and striving. Let's not confuse an inflated ego with healthy self esteem. The ego wants everyone to like you. High self-esteem is just fine if they don't. The ego thinks it knows everything. Self-esteem thinks it can learn from anyone. The ego wants to prove itself. Self-esteem wants to express itself. This is so clear here. Ego is the actual enemy of our personal development, like of our self growth. And we can control it by knowing what ego is. Table in the left side we have ego and in the right we have self-esteem, and there's clarifying what actually the ego is and the self-esteem. So let's read it. fears what people will say, compares to others, wants to prove themselves, knows everything, pretends to be strong, wants people to respect them. This is all about the ego and self esteem. Filters what people say, compares to themselves, oh, wants to be themselves, can learn from anyone, is okay being vulnerable, respect self and others. See, this table is clarifying what actually the ego and the healthy self esteem is. There's any confusion, we can use this table to know ourselves. And we can learn, grow, assist, and work upon ourselves. The table above doesn't just show the difference between an inflated ego and a healthy self worth. It can be used as a guide to grow your confidence. If you look closely, you will see that all of the self awareness that we have been developing serves to build the interwoven qualities of humility and self worth. Instead of worrying what people will say, we filter what people will say. Instead of comparing ourselves to others, we cleanse our minds and look to improve ourselves. Instead of wanting to prove ourselves, we want to be ourselves, meaning we aren't distracted by external wants. We live with intention in our dharma. Here, the first action is always the self awareness that comes from within us. So, the author here is guiding us not to distracted by the other people's opinion. And instead of proving ourselves, we should improve ourselves by accepting and realizing the weakness and strengths of oneself. We can lead us toward where and what we want to be. Its title is Small Wins. Accumulating small wins builds confidence. Olympic swimming gold medalist Jessica Hardy says, my long term goals are what I would consider to be my dreams, and my short term goals are obtainable on a daily or monthly basis. I like to make my short term goals something that makes me feel better and sets me up to better prepare for the long term goals. Interesting, and as well as this is the fact. Let's say I want to be a writer someday. To be a writer on someday, I need to devote myself as a writer every single day, like by writing a paragraph every single day. Those accumulated actions of every single day writer will lead myself to a place where I want to be. From these two random ways, we can conclude that devoting oneself without having any future expectations is actually the real struggles we need to do. And the expectations ruins everything. uh, we will get what we need and we will go through what we have to go through to be that person. This was for today, we just finished it. If you got something out of it and want to know what's waiting on the next page, be sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Found this video helpful, do not forget to share this with someone who could benefit from it. And as always, stay focused, stay disciplined, take action, and let's grow together. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you so much for watching.